Okay, well, we're Mike and Sandy Carroll, and Pastor has asked us we've been married 48 years.
You know the difference.
And Pastor's asked us to share some of our expertise or experiences in a long-term marriage. We have been married for a long time, and we dated for a long time before that. So it's just second nature that we're together.
So it's really 54 years, huh?
True. Don't remind me. There's really about 4 different relationships in a long-term marriage. You know, the honeymoon phase, puppy love will get you through that. Everybody can do that. But then you got about 20 or 25 years of raising kids, and that's when the rubber hits the road. Our first was at 3 years old, got really, really sick. And Sandy spent months at the hospital, nonstop, never came home. And that's when I really realized, what she was all about.
That's where we saw God show up.
Yeah. I mean, we almost lost him, and it took several years after that to get him, we were at 5 years old, are we going to raise a blind child? Florida D&B, and that will, if you don't have a strong partner, you don't get through that. But then the next phase, and that can go on for 20, 25 years, depending on how many kids you have. But then the next phase is the empty nest phase. I call it the empty nest phase. And then you look at each other and it's like, who are you? You live here? Where you been? Where you been for the last 20 years? Because your priorities are different. I mean, it's not on each other, it's focused on the kids. And then you make it through that and you get into the retirement phase where we are now. And then
I think that's the best.
As far as what God's had to do with it, there's people that probably make it without God, but our faith has made it a lot easier. And the reason for that, I believe, or in my case, is, the Holy Spirit rides here and the devil rides here. Well, me and the devil team up on a lot of things that then he takes over and keeps you out of trouble, And I think too that if your marriage is founded on a faith, you kind of elevate your actions. So you take a lot of things out of your playbook that will destroy a marriage. I told her a while ago, just get a Cadillac to start with and go with it. You call me a car. I said a Volkswagen, but
in the beginning, it's that trust factor, and that sometimes doesn't come very easy because of maybe your history, the way you grew up, the family you grew up in, and that has to be developed. There's a thing of acceptance. Don't try to change them. You really have to. You don't want to do that because they're different. They grew up differently, and you grew up one way, and they grew up another way. And maybe they don't show love the way you want them to show you love. But you have to learn to accept and find out, how it is that they do show the love. Like you're more of one that shows it by doing, by giving. I'm one that I'm a more verbal person. I want to hear it.
Yeah.
And so I want to hear that affirmation.
Yeah, I'm not the romantic, that's for sure.
Yes, but you have to learn to accept that. But first you got to find out, and you got to understand how that person is.
I know for a fact that she has prayed for me to behave a certain way in our marriage, and I've prayed for just thanking God for her. Because she's the rock. She, early on anyway, mainly because, for the first 20 years of our marriage, if I wasn't working, I was playing ball, or fishing tournaments.
Or golf.
and I know now that wasn't the right thing to do, but she dealt with it, and I'm thankful for it.
It's just, maturing. But
that's the key, maturing.
It's maturing and trust. And then that big C word, commitment, means a lot. Commitment in marriage, commitment to each other as well. Which, and I grew up with a family that they were married 63 years. But what else helped me was looking around, looking at my family, looking at my peers, looking at others, and reflecting on their life or just looking at them. And it helped me to see where I didn't want to go.
Exactly.
To see where I
Because
didn't
my
want to
parents
go.
divorced when I was
20.
and it was so hard on our family, and I knew didn't want any part of that.
Yeah.
So it makes you work a little harder, commit a little more, because it's
Forgive a little more.
Yeah, people get through it, and I praise them for it, but it's a lot easier if you do it this way.
Yeah.
So to sum it up, get you a Cadillac to start with.
Well, how about a Tesla?